Okay, this little rig right here might be the best $120 you'll ever spend in the RC hobby. This is the new Axial SCX24, and it now has the Jeep Wrangler JLU body on it, and I think it looks pretty awesome. We've seen the SCX24 before. We have the deadbolt over here that we reviewed a little while back, and it is just so much fun to crawl in your backyard, crawl indoors, you know, in your living room, and even on your desktop if you really had to get your crawl on. These little rigs are a lot of fun, and they're completely ready to run. You don't need anything else. Everything is in the box, which makes it pretty awesome in my book. So I'm not going to go totally crazy with this review. I am going to go and link to the deadbolt review up above so you can check out more details about it. I just want to quickly go over what makes this thing, you know, different from the deadbolt and some of its really cool features that you really need to know about. So first up, let's start off with the body, and they did a great job with this JLU body. It's got some Rubicon logos on there. It's got some of their license partner logos on there, like Curry Axial, CRC, KMC, and Nitto. That is very cool. But they did a really nice job. The colors, there is a white version with the CRC logos on the side, and then there's this yellow version here. It's got some pretty cool graphics on it. It's got the Axial logos, and the fender flares are painted a matte black. I really like the way this looks. I really like that it's a licensed body. All right, so beyond the body, it does have the front bumper like the deadbolt did with the LED lights in it. Love any crawler that comes with LED lights nowadays. And then it's got a plastic rear bumper in the back as well that's actually integrated into the body mounting system. So there's only one single clip that goes on the top, and I don't know where I put it, but there is a clip that goes in the front here, and basically you can just pop up the top of the body and access your battery. Now I've gone ahead and removed the two screws that secure the body in the back, but basically it just hinges up so you get to access everything inside. And what's even cooler, they went and painted the inside a dark gray so it doesn't have a yellow look on the inside. It just adds to the finish factor of this body. Clear windows so you can see in there. I really like what they've done with that body. Okay, now that I've got the body off, let's check out some of those details I was telling you about. So it's got a metal ladder frame in there, so it's a nice sturdy frame. We've got worm gear style axles, which allow a lot of clearance underneath. We've got 3-link suspension in the front and a 4-link in the rear with basically a friction shock. There's no oil in these shocks, but they're just nice and light, and they'll float over everything you're crawling over. As far as the rest of the drive system goes, there's a central transmission with an 88-turn motor to spin it, and then it's got spline slider drive shafts in the center that go to the axles. Now up in the front is the AS1 steering servo. There is a servo saver on here, so that protects the steering servo. Then it's just got a simple drag link and steering link up front to go over to the steering knuckles. And what's really nice is everything in the drivetrain is ball bearings. Up front, there are steel axles inside the drive shaft, so it's all really well built. Stuff that you would expect to see from the Axial brand. Now, up top here is the 2-in-1 unit. This is a receiver and a speed controller. Just nice and compact, sits up front here. All this is pre-set up from the factory. You don't have to do anything to adjust it or set it up. Right behind here is the 350 milliamp LiPo battery. So it's pretty awesome that it comes with a LiPo battery right from the factory, and it's got a Velcro strap to secure it down in case you want to get extra batteries to keep on going. So that's really the features you need to know about it. On all 4 corners, we have Nitto trail grappler tires on KMC machete wheels. Again, it's got that cool scale look to it, and overall, it's just a fun rig to go out and drive, or drive inside your house again. Now, to control it, Axial gives you the AX4 transmitter. Nice little transmitter, again, for the price of this vehicle. The grip on here is also very comfortable. The batteries load from the bottom, and they do go and give you the 4 AA batteries that you need to power this. And then under the top here, there are some trim adjustments. So if you need to adjust your steering, maybe it's wandering a little bit, you could go in here and adjust the steering so it centers it. But nice little radio system for that. They give you a charger. So this is a USB charger. You know, plug it into your cell phone charger jack, and it's got LED lights on here that indicate when the battery is charging, and then of course when it's charged, and that just plugs right into this lead here with the 3 wires. Also in the kit are some extras like some links, and it's got some extra drive shafts in there. I think that's if you go and change the wheelbase on it or something like that, but it does give you that in case you want to go and modify it, because there are people that go out and buy 1/24 scale bodies and put it on here so they could customize the look of it, and you know, people are coming up with some really cool projects. Also comes with a Allen driver, so you could go and access the screw, a lot of the screws on this vehicle, and then they give you an extra body clip, which is pretty cool. Then of course, you know, your usual paperwork. There's a connector guide in here, and there's the instruction manual to get you up to speed on how to operate the vehicle. All right, that really wraps up the SCX24. I'm gonna go head out, have some fun with it, and show you how cool it is to drive one of these little crawlers. Fun times, Axial fans. That's what you're going to get when you're driving an SCX24. I had a great time testing out the little JLU here, and I took it over to a couple of parks near me, and it was just a lot of fun to kind of come up with different obstacles to drive this vehicle over. And the first stop was at a local playground, and they actually had some man-made rock sculptures there that the kids could climb on, and it was kind of the perfect setting for this little rig to go and crawl over. And it's there where I was really able to see how this little rig drives, and you know, on the ground, over the trails and walking paths and stuff like that. It's a lot of fun. Looks pretty scale out there even for its size. I mean, they did a great job with this body, but it just looks cool kind of just, you know, navigating through all the rocks and sand and even turf and grass and stuff like that. It was pretty cool through there. And then when I put it up on the rocks, it did pretty well climbing. It was a painted surface, so there was some wheel spin there, but it actually impressed me with some of the stuff that it did crawl up and over. You know, when you're driving this thing, you just got to watch your approaches and your descents. So if you're crawling up something, you don't want to be on too much of an angle because it will roll over. But if you square up to it and just kind of go straight up something, it's able to pull itself up and over, and it stays on all four wheels. Now, there is where I also noticed, you know, some of the steering traits on this, and it has pretty respectable steering for the size of the vehicle. However, I did run into a problem with this, and you might run into it as well, where the tires grab onto the fender flares on the body here. So what I had to do is I took some curved Lexan scissors and I cut out the opening so the tires didn't grab on that anymore. And it was kind of causing a problem. It wasn't allowing me to steer enough, and it was catching, so the wheels weren't turning. But once I cut it out, it was fine. The other issue I found is once I cut out the wheel wells, now I had more steering, it was actually hitting the wires for the LED lights. So what you have to do is you got to go and tuck them in towards the chassis, and that will give clearance so the tires don't catch on it. So once I did that, it had, you know, plenty of steering, definitely enough for the size of this vehicle, for its intended use. I mean, when you're crawling around your backyard or even in your big living room or something like that with this rig, I think the steering is going to be just fine. Just for a vehicle to go and have fun, crawl whatever, you know, you have available to you, it definitely works out there. Now, the battery runtime on here was really decent as well. I actually never ran through a full pack. I mean, there was my first run was 15 minutes long, and the second run was 20 minutes long, and I was charging in between every run, but you're going to get some good runtime out of this. It's pretty durable as well. I dropped it off one of the big rocks over there at the playground, and it hit the ground pretty hard. Actually, it dropped off some of the big rocks at one of the bigger parks I went to, and this thing just tumbles down, lands on the roof, but nothing seems to have broken or weakened, so I think it's a tough little rig. I think they did a great job with this. You know, especially, it's $120, completely ready to run. This is just going to be great fun for anybody that picks it up, whether you're into the hobby or want to get into the hobby. This is a great starting point, or just a great addition to your collection. All right, guys, hope you enjoyed that review. I had a lot of fun with this rig. If you have any questions or comments about this vehicle, throw it in the comments section below. While you're there, please hit the subscribe button and the notifications bell, and we'll see you back here soon for some more RC Driver videos.